A lot of more concern still reaching out to the Port Harcourt refinery in the fight for fuel sufficiency. A lot of concern on the plausibility. Those that are really having that is an attempt to some logic into what Nigerians are witnessing yesterday as regards to the overhaul of the Port Harcourt refinery. It was the inauguration of the old refinery, Port Harcourt refinery. Yes, it has come alive again. It is now operational after many years of turnaround maintenance. It is working and it has received a new legs after many years of efforts for operation. The 60,000 barrels per day old Port Harcourt refinery was established in 1965 and had suffered a series of aborted potential. Joining us now is the former national president of NUPENC, joining us virtually to give us some sense of understanding about this development. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. Can you hear me, sir?
Thank you. Yes, I'm hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right. Those are really...
I've had your opening.
Okay. Give us, how do you feel about this development?
The development is a very welcome development because the starting up of the Port Harcourt refinery is going to augment, and not only augment, but solve a lot of problems. You remember we've been battling, the NMPC saying that the group managing director should lead so that our refineries can work. Now, for whatever reason,
Mrs. Saif, yes, we are still getting you clearly. Yes, it is a welcome development, but what I want you to react on very quickly is a concern about how much would it now cost Nigerians to get fuel, because that is a question on the many lips of Nigerians. They are really having a concern. What may be the difference from buying from Dangote, from the imported products, and now that we are having our own Port Harcourt refinery, that the president said it's not just stopping with Port Harcourt. We'll get to Warri refinery and Kaduna refinery. All of that will also be considered. All right, we'll try as much as possible to get the former national vice president of NUPENC, who will be joining us to still give us some sense of reaction concerning the Port Harcourt refinery. That certain previous administration, recall Obasanjo, Jonathan, and even Buhari had failed to restart this critical national asset. Even as that March 2021, Buhari administration awarded a contract for the total rehabilitation of the refinery and the repair, which work had begun in phases. It that looked at during the government of that time at the refinery will be put to work, but it ended with no hope of its operation. And President Tinubu, on subsidy removal, reiterated his commitment to fixing the refinery. Many President's strong and courageous leadership was brought to realization by this very development. They have acknowledged a very lamentable role of the former President Buhari as well for initiating the comprehensive rehabilitation of this refinery, and they've also extended some appreciation to African Export and Import Bank for the support in financing the project. The president has also directed that there should be speedy reactivation of the new Port Harcourt refinery, the Warri refinery, and the Kaduna refinery. And this is still in furtherance of the vision of ensuring that the nation's energy security and independence, as well as economic advancement. We'll go on a break, everyone, and once we return from the break, we'll still get to connect with the former national vice president of NUPENC to give us an understanding about this development. Just stay with us. right, Mr. Tijani, it's former National Vice President of NUPENG, still joins us for that interview. Very quickly, comrade, there are those that are really having a concern about the pricing, how much will be sold for Nigerians to, in respect to crashing the prices of fuel, because as of today, people are still getting the liter as a 1,200, 1,300, and thereabout, depending on the location. The coming of Port Harcourt Refinery, is it a relief to us? Mr.
You need to bring the mouthpiece near you. What are you saying?
Is the coming of the Port Harcourt Refinery a relief to Nigerians?
Yes, Port Harcourt Refinery. Like I said, the coming up on stream of the refinery is a very welcome development. It will help not only in making products available in Nigeria, but in fact help in reshaping, rebuilding, and making sure that our economy is revived. That is very true.
Can you confirm to us the pricing dynamics, because that is what really are the interests of Nigerians? How much would it be sold from Port Harcourt Refinery?
How much what?
How much would it be sold for? What is the projection like?
There is no projection for now, but that the refinery is working. It's enough to tell you that there is going to be an amelioration, both in terms of prices and in terms of making sure that there is participation. Now you have the Port Harcourt Refinery working. Dangote is working. If the refinery is working, it means what we used to call for, the issue of market forces, will now come in. And there will be, if you use the word, there will be a competition between the refinery and the Dangote group. So maybe if apart from Port Harcourt Refinery, another refinery comes upstream, and we have two refineries, there will be serious competition. That is what we are expecting. There will be serious competition among the people that are the players. So that is it. It is going to be very healthy to the economy of Nigeria.
All right, very quickly before I let you go, Honorable, I mean, there are those that are really having also the extension of concern about how all of this effort can translate into really making a lot of openings to Nigerians, because when you look at the fact that inflation is becoming real, even when MBS are saying that it looks that there are efforts being made by the government in fighting inflation, it looks that it's still surrounding the hardship and the Nigerians. The government, that lives have still been the same. And now that we are having Port Harcourt Refinery, that those that are having, how would all of this crush down inflation to totality? Comrade, did you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
How would all of these affect and crush inflation? Inflation is still high. There are those that feel that the government of the day are not doing their best enough to tackle inflation.
Inflation?
Yes.
Inflation will have to reduce now. You know, with the product is what is causing inflation. Removal of dollars from Nigeria to go and purchase oil at the international market, that is what brings about the inflation. Because Forex, the Nigerian naira compared to the dollar, you know there is a very big disparity. So now we are going to have less dollars going out of Nigeria, because Dangote is selling in naira, and the refinery that the Port Harcourt refinery started operating is also going to be sold in naira. So you have a situation where the demand and request for dollars is going to be very minimal. And if it is minimal, it means that we are not going to spend much of our own hard earnings in dollars.
All right, Mr. Tijani is a former National Vice President of Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, who had connected with us from Kano to give us an insight. Maybe when you are back to Abuja, we'll have you at the studio so that we can have a proper conversation on all of this. Thank you so much. All right, a lot of development in respect to Port Harcourt Refinery. It's to so many persons, it is a relief in respect to its operation. And the president has reiterated just on his remarks over yesterday that he's still making an extension to advancing our economic and nation's energy security and independence. That his vision is to also turn around the Warri refinery and also put to operation the Kaduna refinery in furtherance of this his vision for Nigerians. What are really in the lips of Nigerians is how much this will be sold, the difference of the product. I recall that just May 29, 2023, just as the president was sworn into office, the very statement subsidy gone had skyrocketed the prices of the product as at the time to 500, and now, and many are saying getting that product at a 1,300 is not sustainable. The purchasing power of many Nigerians has continued to be at the front burners of concern to many. How can government, with this Port Harcourt refinery, begin to tackle all of these issues? It's still topping the agenda of the state of the nation. Efforts have been made so far in respect to managing the subsidy removal, but it looks that the palliatives has not really been effective. All of this effort by government has not translated in getting things to work. And as those have said, it's not really sustainable. Palliative is not sustainable. There are those that have also argued that handout is not also sustainable. Cash, conditional cash transfer cannot also help the situation. Now, there is a need for government to look at an alternative to our energy. And if our nation's energy security must be tackled with, there was a need to have our own local refinery put to work so as to create in a willing buyer and a willing seller dynamics of operation, where we can see Dangote refinery in operation. We can even have other private refineries springs up in the country so as to also tackle all of these energy problems. We can't really exhaust that conversation. Of course, it's still a development, and we're still tracking to know what lessons are to learn, what are the hopes, what are the expectations of Nigerians, and what are our fears, and what are the wishes of NNPC and to the Nigerian people now that we have Port Harcourt refinery. That's the size of a conversation tonight, and do not forget that tax reforms is still on the debates in the National Assembly. Yesterday there was some mild drama where some of the National Economic Team of the President were to allow entrance. Some senators objected that they ought not to appear before the plenary. Rather, they should be attended at the level of the committees, and that had created some uproar. It looks that those that are still having rejection and still rejection on the tax reforms are still carried out their resistance even at the National Assembly. The bill are yet to pass through some readings, but already the tension is still very much high, and the explanations of government still not satisfied to some quarters, and that those are still having that the content of the content of the bills that are really will improve the taxations and turn around the reformations in the country. Well, it's still at the floor of the National Assembly. The senators that we elected still have the consideration to make in respect to that bill. The president also earlier today departed Abuja to France with Her Excellency for the state visit, still on the bilateral relations. Whatever the outcome of that meeting will mean for Nigeria, we'll always have the conversation here on the program. My name is Edika Michael. This is where we wrap it up today on this show. Looking forward again, seeing you tomorrow, where we talk on other issues.